Today, I'm going to be doing an awareness documentation. I'm picking up the ad walk, that which I haven't done in quite some time. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have the GoPro anymore. Unfortunately, it is gone. The camera that I used to film from 2016 on until 2021, my friends, I no longer have it anymore. So we're going to be using my phone, and we're using a low pixel lens, but today I'm going to speak my heart, and I'm going to try not to look into the screen to distract myself, because awareness documentations, you're not supposed to look at the screen when you're talking. You're supposed to look into the lens and speak into your very soul. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to speak from my heart, and I'm going to speak my truth and try and unpack my thoughts and the pain in that and what gives me hope and a new solution. So today it happens to be February 8th, 5:23 p.m. Oh, I'm looking at my eyes now. You see how far off that is? It's just so odd. And I'm going to be holding and switching between hands like this. And hopefully it doesn't confuse the heck out of you. Just the angle of it all. It's just ironic. But we're going to make it work, okay? I'm going to be speaking on my heart, from my heart, and what I've really been processing throughout these past several days. And I'm going to be honest. You know, I have really just delved into, in an obsessive capacity, how much I'm actually learning about these MBTIs, and more specifically, what one specific MBTI has to go through. Like, their life is just, if it's really like this, the INTJ, if their life is really as crazy and polarized as it's made out to be just by their type class alone, and how all that plays out into their actual daily lives, gosh, it is just, I wouldn't say a roller coaster, but it is either completely miserable in some great capacity, is what I'm learning, or it's completely freaking awesome and they're just doing and living their life as best as they possibly can. But it's easy to get stuck in a rut, so to speak. It's easy to not play the hero and to play this character that's going to go out and save the world, as so to speak, as they are. To save the earth, you know? To save the world. This is the capacity that the INFJ has within everything that every fiber of their being. But it's easy to be downtrodden. It's easy to become manipulated. It's easy to not have a healthy filter for relationships. It's easy to be controlled, to be abused, to be taken advantage of. And through the videos that I'm watching, because I'm watching C.S. Joseph, for a good amount of what I have been learning, C.S. Joseph is very freaking serious, straight to the point. He's very strict in how he expresses himself. He does speak with his heart, but he also does speak like he knows everything within these type classifications. Which, you know, like, I'm learning, I'm in my process, I'm unpacking these thoughts, I don't know everything, this is just what I'm learning, and I'm reflecting off of it, which is great. This is how I do my videos. But I don't like to talk like I know everything, you know? So there's a big difference, a distinction in how that content is delivered. But I am learning a lot from him. And if what he's saying and what these other people are saying is accurate, it's gotta be a real challenge to be an INFJ. Now, I don't have the most incredible arsenal of information to relate to you, because realistically speaking, it's very hard for me to apply this information without being in relationship and in conversation and, you know, interacting with a person who is an INFJ on a regular basis. I'm not. I just simply am not. But I'm learning, filling my brain with information about this type of person. And one of the first things I learned that I relayed in the last video is that the INFJ is basically a mirror. So everything that they're experiencing is basically a reflection of the quality of people that are around them. The people around them can be low quality or high quality, right? So if they're low quality, then the reflection in their environment and their circumstances is going to provide and turn them into that low quality person that is around them. they become the low quality person themselves. Same with high quality. If they hang around other high quality people and get rid of the losers in their life, then they're going to be more high quality, right? They're going to be admirable. They're going to be integral. They're going to be somebody that's desirable, so to speak. Now, I don't know what this person that, I'm learning all of this for is like, because realistically speaking, I am learning what the INFJ type is so that I can find a better way to relate to this person and to be able to communicate better, to connect with that person, because that's what I give a shit about. That's what I care about. And if that connection is going to be more supportive of them and of me in that connection, and it makes things break through, then that's what matters to me. So I'm trying to learn as much as I possibly can. And if I'm looking at their life, it can be despicable in ways that they don't follow through with their integrity, but they try to find a shortcut to it. One of the examples that C.S. Joseph happens to use is like, you can excel at low quality things. For example, something I've even personally done in my life, especially in periods of my life where I've been low or degraded or felt like I didn't have the momentum with other people around me who supported me, or even I wasn't just following my calling, is you can play an online game and lead a bunch of people, gather together your wolves, right? Your wolf pack. But if you're playing a game like World of Warcraft, for example, and you're gathering together your wolf pack of all these people who are excelling at something that isn't so great, you're excelling at low quality things, right? You're not changing the world like you're supposed to as this quote unquote INFJ, because you're a rare type within the MBTI and the rarest. And you have certain skill sets and abilities that are available to you that nobody else has. So considering that and actually applying it into your daily life, you would think if your life is worth something and if it has meaning, then you would excel to be doing great things, right? But I understand what it's like personally to be in a place where you feel like you don't have all the support that you could possibly have in your life. And therefore, you choose not to pursue the bigger things because you feel like you want to be doing it with somebody. You feel like you have meaning. You feel like you matter, not just to yourself, but to somebody else. And they carry you forward. And in this capacity, personally, I can really, 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 really relate to the INFJ. I mean, one of the comments in one of these videos talked about, the one thing that person was still struggling with, and they were probably an older person, just judging from their profile picture, is that the question was like, why would I want to be successful in building a business without being able to share that success with someone? And to me, I feel that so deeply because on a great scale, my life, I've just wanted to share it with somebody. I've just wanted somebody to accompany me on my journey, as loyal as they may be, and help me continue to press forward, And it's been really, really hard trying to live my life without having that sort of support, with somebody who sees my vision, who sees my truth, who sees my reality, understands me, and wants me to do great, and will walk side by side with me. Like real family, It doesn't have to be by blood, just by experience. And we're going at it together, who we can see eye to eye. We have like the same vision and we're doing it together. It would change my life on a completely different scale. And the example that I use regularly is like, okay, so, and we could probably turn this into a pirate metaphor, but basically, I want to go on this world journey, right? And I'm so interested in excelling and going on this world journey and getting all the world's treasure, right? The treasure of the experience, of the process, and whatever we might happen to find along the way. But instead of going on that world journey, because I feel troubled by having to do it alone, I haven't exactly acquired my crew, one of the most important things to me is to stop at these islands and go and find my crew along the way, along the journey. And that totally makes sense. It's totally a part of the process. But the thing about me is, for the longest time, I feel like, I already fucking went for my journey. But then there's a period of point in time where I feel like I need support, so that I would choose intentionally to stop at these islands and, try and have somebody board my ship, but they may not exactly be good for me, so I have to let them go. And in essence, I'm trying to search for a woman in my life who would support me and my mission and vision and help carry me forward so that I can go on the world journey, and I won't be doing it alone, and it won't be so heartbreaking to have to put up my sails and to flee everything that is behind me, because I know now that I can overcome all of my challenges, the greatest challenges in my life, with someone who's going to be there for me, who's going to be there with me. There's a huge catastrophic difference between going it alone, fighting pain in isolation, and being able to go through pain, the struggle, your current reality with someone who actually shares that reality with you. It's such a game changer. Just for me in particular. I don't know about other people, but we're social animals. We're social people. Why would you want to go on this world journey without having anybody believe in you who wants to walk the walk with you? It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. And that's how this world is being conditioned. It's just catastrophic in such a way, like, we're all filming videos and we're creating content and we're trying to be these incredible fucking people making an influence. You're influencers, you're creating an impact, you're doing something meaningful in the fucking world. But realistically speaking, do you have anybody that actually cares about you? Really? Do you have the feeling of family, of what actually matters? Because to me, this fucking matters. Because I didn't exactly have family, like real family feelings growing up. So essentially, the polar opposite of the experience that I want to create is I want to create a family, not by blood, but by experiences that we can relate to, pain that we can relate to, and we can grow together through. Like, that's what I want to create. That's my vision. So in creating that, where is my family? Can I get someone along the way to contribute, to support me so that I can keep going? Because it's fucking hard. It's really fucking hard alone. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to admit it. And for me to pursue building this business and actually giving a fuck, literally giving a fuck, to fuck with all these new people that I'm going to meet along this journey, I want to feel supported, man. Because, I could use it a lot. I would feel so much more interested and so much more invested in actually doing something that would change my life and others if I had someone with me by my side who actually was meaningful, that I actually loved, and they loved me, and we were going to change the world together, or to say the least, like, I'm changing the world and they're there with me. And we're doing this together. It's not an alone thing. The conditions are so extremely different. So, in particular with an INFJ, this is probably something that they're struggling with, right? Going on that world journey or living out their ambitions without having other people in their lives. I can see that. I can relate to it. I totally understand on a much deeper level than most people what that could be like. Considering that they're a mirror and they reflect the circumstances and the conditions around them, the people. It is their virtue and their vice. Their virtue being integrity and their vice being corruption. They can easily be corrupted and have cracks in their mirror, given the low quality of other people that are affecting them. They're literally fogging up the mirror. They're putting cobwebs over it because nobody fucking gives a shit. Nobody cares. They don't care if you can see yourself through that mirror. They don't give a fuck. And it fucking sucks. You can't even see clearly anymore. What the fuck is your life? It's a reflection of all the shit. Everything that's polluting you around you. And you have to grow up in that filth. There's no fucking way out when your mind's all entrapped in that, man. I know it from experience. I had to get out. I had to get out of my circumstances. I had to go seek safety. I had to survive and understand what it meant to be in survival mode and then out of survival mode after having safety, and then start finding my identity and pursuing my morality and the things that actually mattered to me. It was a process, and it wasn't an easy one. It took some time. It took some healing. And it actually took awareness documentation. It took experimenting. It took experiences. It took going the hard way. Not the short way. No, it was a fucking long way. I approached that ship, and I got on, and I fucking did my thing. But then there's a point where it's like, okay, I've been doing my thing for so long. I want somebody, somebody to join me in this adventure, because it's only so adventurous when you're going at it alone, talking into a camera. I want to open up the podcast. I want to be having conversations with hundreds of people that I don't know, that I happen to find incredible across the world. And we're sharing these experiences together. I want to be making those connections. I want to be making those collaborations. I want to be putting together my own projects, my own NFTs, my own music, my own movies, what have you, whatever I'm good at, I want to be doing that shit. And I think of movies because I recently watched through the first 45 minutes to maybe an hour and 20 minutes of my iMovie, and I just really felt it, I really felt everything I was saying, and it was so meaningful to me. And of course it was my own personal experience, but I felt like I directed it really well in that time period in 2019. And to do it again, I wouldn't be able to do it like that again, because I was feeling the emotions I was feeling at that given time. And just self-reflecting through, 1 to 2.5 years of work, inner work, and then unpacking that journey for someone else to experience and to step into my world, to come walk with me. That's what I was trying to portray. And it was just fucking incredible. And I watched the ending, and just putting all the scenes, the ending made me cry. It literally brought tears to my eyes. A tear, at the very least, and it was beautiful. So, it was beautiful. But if I'm to make movies, cool, we'll try it again sometime. But that was a lot of work. It took an entire month for me to make that movie. I edited everything, did it all on my own. But anyways, back to the story, yo. It's starting to get dark over here. It's now 5:40. In some great capacity, knowing where that person is and them not knowing a way out, they're fixed, from my understanding and from what little I'm free to share. They're fixed between jumping between a very high vibration and being in a very low vibration. And because they jumped to the higher vibration and they completely changed their frequency, they completely changed how they actually felt at once through an awakening experience, they really, really, really don't know how to go through all of the shit, how to clean off the cobwebs, how to wipe down that mirror, how to actually mend the cracks and rebuild themselves. They went from being a mirror that was thrown into the ocean, cast away, nobody cared to see it, getting washed ashore, being set and thrown into the fucking garbage bin, and then taken to the junkyard, and then somebody picked that up and put it in their house, and then they lived with it for a while, cobwebs got on it, but then they had to abandon the house because, maybe a fucking fire went and burned the whole shack, and then nobody saw to that, and animals came into that shack and now inhabited it, and it's covered in cracks, it's covered in mold, it's covered in cobwebs, it's covered in all fucking tons of shit, and nobody can see through that mirror. Like, how do you expect to get on living your life, having a reflection that you can't even fucking see through? You can't see shit. Your mind is so cloudy, it's disgusting, it's filthy. I'm not saying this is what that person's going through, but it very well could be. And it's up to somebody to go and clean that mirror and to rebuild the whole fucking frame. Right? Bring it back to new. Because they're not going to be able to do that on their own. They're a reflection. They're a mirror of consciousness. They mirror what other people present around them. And then when that frame is getting rebuilt, when the mirror is getting cleaned, then they can begin to see and then carry out their destiny, everything that their calling was meant for. And I have to believe that that person has a greater capability and a greater capacity to do so than what they've currently shown. If you've gone through trauma, if you've gone through pain, and you don't know any better, there has to be a way. You know, like, if they haven't given up, there has to be a way. If that person's run so many times, they've tried to find other solutions, they didn't fucking know the way. The way of real spiritual growth. And it's through fucking pain. It's through experiences that the universe throws at you that you have to overcome. Challenges. Real genuine challenges. At least mine has been that way. I'm sure other people go through it some other way. I'm sure other people awaken through these incredible experiences that are out of this world. For me, my journey was not straight. It was straight through the fucking dirt. Straight through the vineyard, the thorns, man. The darkness. That's what I had to experience. So, if somebody else is going through some shit and they don't know any alternative, they don't have another way out, they don't know any better, and everybody else just fills them with doubt, they really don't want to experience life the way that life is meant to be experienced because they're afraid. They're afraid nobody's gonna fucking care, even if they fucking try. I feel that. I know what that's like. Everybody betrays them. Everybody hurts them. They've closed off their heart. They've hardened it. It's turned cold. It's having struggle beating as it should. It's not keeping your body warm. It's not keeping you circulate. It's not keeping you functioning in optimal levels. What do you think that person's gonna do? If nobody wakes them up to a better version of reality, they're gonna give up. They're gonna let go. Like, they don't have another choice. Unless if something else intervenes. Unless if something changes their life. It's from my understanding that the truth is, you cannot heal relational trauma outside the context of relationships. You literally cannot heal relational trauma. Something that was caused from within relationships that was traumatic, which caused emotional distress, that couldn't be changed. You cannot heal that outside the context of being within some sort of relationship. So there's no other fucking way to heal it. To go through your life trying to experience something that provides something of an opposing benefit, opposing experience to change that energy, unless if you're within a relationship of some sort, some way. So, in other words, somebody needs to fucking help that person. Just like how I was able to help myself. I had a relationship with myself and I experienced a lot of conversations with a lot of people. So I figured out a way to fine-tune it. You know, I did have a bit of support along the way. I did have some helpful people. And they didn't fucking heal me. I healed myself. But I fucking used those reflections and I did everything I could to make myself do the work, to take care of myself, to heal. And now I have to pass that shit on to somebody who deserves it. Before I go and fucking do... And believe me, I've worked on my business stuff. I've helped some people. But then I went through fucking homelessness, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not in integrity anymore. How am I supposed to help people with their shit? You know, like, how am I supposed to operate a business when I fucking can't take care of myself? And then more shit happened, and more shit happened, and then more shit happened. Now I want to fucking do it. I want to fucking help people. I want to be in integrity too, yeah. But I also want somebody to carry through and love through support through this journey. Because when I have that one person, or two people, or three people, or four people, or many people, or the family of truth and unity, I'm then going to be able to carry out my mission and my purpose, my vision. Truly. So I can't wait for that. I really can't. I think it'd be really supportive to have somebody by my side in that capacity. And then everything's going to flow in greater momentum. Of course, I would need my health too. That's another really big thing. But if I can start building that momentum and having that support and carrying out my life with open doors, just as that other person would need So long as they actually step up and actually do the work, and they actually show up, and they actually grow, and they see my love just as they would share their love, as an open heart that genuinely wants better for you, then I think it's possible. I think it's possible. And I don't see the reason to deny somebody if they have mental illness. Like, those people need help. It's people with mental illness that need help the most. They need to be seen the most. Somebody needs to see into their reality so they can change all that shit. It only makes sense. To me, anyways. What do I get from it? I get the love that I shared with myself, that I then get to share with somebody else. Because I chose to love myself. I chose to forgive myself. I chose to not have all the guilt or all the shame or those lower energies. I chose to forgive, to let go, to renew, to rejoice in my new truths. And I chose to heal. And that allowed me to love myself, the parts of myself that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to commit to. Love. And I think somebody else can do that for themselves, if they choose to pursue what is above their current place that they execute from. So, I'm rhyming now, maybe a little bit too intentionally. I only have good intentions, I only have goodwill for all this. So I'm pulling for you. Mike, whoever's listening to this, I'm pulling for you. I want you to do well. I don't know if I'm going to be a part of your life. I don't know how great my life is going to be at this part. But I do know that if somebody's going through some shit and they don't know a way out and they need help and nobody's ever fucking helped them and they're in pain and isolation and they just keep going through that shit and nothing ever changes, then it's going to be too hard to keep going. Because the pain is going to become so immense that they cannot pick themselves up anymore. I know that. It's happening in this world everywhere. It's happening within me. So somebody's got to come in and change that. If not themselves, being able to help themselves, somebody's got to clean that reflection. Somebody's got to look themselves in the mirror and be like, hey, you there. Yeah, you. You see that? There? I care. Because you matter. And I want you to know that the most. I love you, beautiful soul. Thank you for taking care of me. Go on to keep taking care of the world. Okay? You'll do great.